A steel sword, no matter how sharp, eventually disappears under the sheer weight of this many gold coins. By the time the blade is completely buried, its physical threat is neutralized by the sheer mass of the capital resting on top of it. In Westeros, most players focus on the blade. We see the Lannisters as wealthy, ruthless villains inhabiting a golden castle, assuming their primary advantage is simply having more resources to buy more swords. This diagram shows the reality of that wealth. A hoard of gold in a vault is stagnant and inert. The Lannisters achieved dominance by ensuring their gold flowed outward, creating a network of financial nodes anchoring every major faction to the rock. Tywin Lannister prioritized the ledger over the battlefield. He recognized that while armies are expensive and volatile, a debt is a permanent tether that dictates an opponent's behavior without a single arrow being fired. This creates a system of control that is remarkably difficult to overthrow. An army can be defeated in a day, but a web of systemic financial dependency can bind a kingdom for generations. The foundation of this system was tangible: the gold mines beneath Casterly Rock provided the hard assets required to begin financing the rest of the world. Tywin deployed this gold aggressively. He financed the wars of his rivals and backed specific rulers, ensuring that the players who appeared to be in control were actually operating on Lannister credit. The Iron Throne eventually became the realm's largest debtor. As this chart shows, the Crown's financial obligations were so massive that House Lannister effectively became the kingdom's primary stakeholder. This level of debt forced the Crown to filter every political and military decision through the needs of House Lannister. When you owe the bank your throne, the bank dictates your policy. This is the mechanic of leverage, using a financial asset to manipulate the behavior of an entire government without the cost of a military occupation. Holding the kingdom's debt inverted the traditional power dynamic. The king held the title, but the Lannisters held the king's ability to remain solvent. The marriage of Cersei Lannister to King Robert Baratheon functioned as a debt-for-equity swap. It was the formal integration of the Lannister Bank into the structure of the royal state. This diagram represents the moment the bank and the throne became a single entity. With a Lannister queen and Lannister heirs, the family that funded the crown officially became the crown. This was the zenith of Lannister power. They had successfully converted financial debt into direct sovereign authority over the Seven Kingdoms. But the system relied on a secret that remained hidden in the dark. The gold mines of Casterly Rock had run dry. The source of the family's physical wealth was gone. This created an immediate existential vulnerability. When an empire is built on the leverage of wealth, the disappearance of the underlying asset threatens the entire structure with a sudden collapse. Tywin had to change his entire strategy instantly. To maintain control, he had to ensure that no one in the realm ever suspected the vaults were empty. Tywin pivoted to a psychological strategy. He understood that as long as the realm believed the Lannisters were the richest family in the world, they would continue to treat them as the most powerful. Perception became the new gold. His obsession with family discipline and the Lannister name was a mechanism to enforce this illusion. The reputation of the house became the only collateral backing the kingdom's entire financial system. This is the transition to a fiat empire. As physical gold fades, it is replaced by an abstract note of belief. Power is backed by fear and trust in the Lannister reputation. When built on shared belief, it remains unbreakable long after physical assets vanish. This reliance on perceived stability rather than gold reserves is the same engine that powers modern global governance. Today, the world's financial stability rests on the shared belief that major governments will remain solvent enough to honor their ledgers. Tywin weaponized the phrase, "A Lannister always pays his debts," as a marketing campaign. It provided the psychological framework necessary to sustain the deadliest illusion in Westeros.